Now the nested if statement. By using nested if, we can check several conditions. So this is the syntax written in the board. So in nested if, the condition 1 is going to check, and if the condition 1 is become true, then the control goes to the inside the if block of the first if. So inside the if block we found another if statement. So condition 2, then it is going to check. If the condition 2 becomes true, then the statement 1 is going to execute. Okay, so when the statement 1 is going to execute, when this condition 1 and condition 2 both are true, then the statement 1 is execute. Suppose the condition 1 becomes true but condition 2 is become false. This time this control goes to this else block and statement 2 will going to execute. So if the condition 2 becomes false, then the statement goes to this else block. So condition 2 become false means this statement 2 is going to execute, and if the condition 1 becomes false, then this statement the control is goes to this portion, that means in this else block. So if the condition 1 is true, then it is going to check another condition, and if the condition 2 is true, then the statement 1 will execute, and if the condition 2 is become false, then the statement 2 will going to execute, and if the condition 1 at the very first time it becomes false, then the control goes to the else block and the statement 3 will going to execute. So this is the syntax of the nested if. Basically nested means nested if means the if within the if. You can see in the first line I have already written the if statement, and within this if statement after if the condition 1 becomes true, it enters into the if block statement, and then it find another if condition. So this second if is basically exist within the first if. So if within the if, and for this reason this kind of if is known as the nested if. Now I am going to check whether a number inputted by the user either it is positive or negative, or neither positive negative, that means it is a zero, value is 0, by using the nested if statement. You can see I have already taken a number in the variable n, and in the first condition I have already written n not equals to 0, means if the value entered by the user is not equals to 0, then this second condition is going to check, and if this condition becomes true, it means n greater than 0 means the positive number starting from after 0. So n greater than 0 means it is a positive number, and this statement is execute, it is a positive number. And if the condition n greater than 0 is become false, it means that the number is not greater than 0, it is lesser than 0, and the control goes to the else block, and this statement is going to execute. Now how can we actually determine if this else block is not containing the value of n is not containing a 0? Because in here I have only mentioned that n greater than 0, but never mentions that it's n not equals to 0. How actually this work? Because this if block is execute when the first condition becomes true, it means n not equals to 0. So already the value entered by the user is a non-zero value, and after if the value is non-zero, then after this block are going to execute, and if the value becomes 0, then this block is not going to execute. This time the control goes to this else block of the first if. Let's see, I'm just going to compile it, and you can see there is no syntax error shown. Then after I'm going to run the program. I'm just typing suppose 15. So it shows it is a positive number. How it is work actually? Let's see. The value of 15 stored in the variable n. So 15 is not equals to 0 is true. So first condition of the if block is becomes true. So it goes to the next if block. 15 is greater than 0, yes, true, and as the first if condition is becomes true, and this statement is executed here. Now if I just run the program again, and just type the value minus 15. Let's see what's happened. It's a negative number. How it is work? Let's see. The value of n becomes minus 15. So a minus 15 is not equals to 0. Maybe it is a negative number, but it is not 0. So this condition becomes true, but minus 15 is not greater than 0, because it is n is minus 15. So in this condition, this if block condition becomes false, and for this reason this else block is executed here, and it shows it is a negative number. Now if I am going to just run the program again and just enter a value of 0, and you can see it is neither positive or negative, it's a 0 number, it's a 0. So how this work? As the value of entered by the user is stored in the variable of n, and as the first condition n not equals to 0, so n becomes 0, so this condition becomes false, and for this reason the control goes to the this else block, and this statement is executed here. So in this way actually nested if actually work, and you can see why it is called as nested if, because this if is exit within this if block, and for this reason this type of if is known as or called as the nested if.